Hello everyone, I'm here to teach you one of the topic from physics, right? It is from physical science and this is physics part, okay? This is from the chapter of force and motions including Newton's law of motions. From here I have taken a topic called Newton's third law of motions. Newton's first law of motions, Newton's second law of motions we have discussed already, okay? And today we'll be discussing about the Newton's third law of motion. As per Newton's third law of motions, what you understand, if an object A exerts a force on object B, then the object B must exert force of equal magnitude and opposite directions back on object A. So here what you understand, like we have got two objects, right? We have got two objects. The first one is A and the second object we got it, right? It is B. We got the two objects, right? Now if this object A will exert force, okay, will exert force on B, right? Now what B will do, B will also exert force, okay? B will also exert force equal and opposite in directions. B will also exert force equal and opposite in directions. So here like somebody, if A is exerting force on B, the B will also exert equal and opposite force. So this is like what you understand, this is called Newton's third law of motions. To make you more properly understand, okay, regarding the Newton's third law of motions, I'll give you some of the examples from your book. It is page number 34, right? So here we've got some of the examples, that is a few phenomena related to Newton's third law of motion. So here let's talk about the example number 2, that is a man when jumps ashore from a boat, expresses the boat at an inclined directions with his feet. This is the action. The boat exerts an equal and opposite reactions from him. The horizontal component of this reactions force pushes him to the ashore, right? So from here what you understand, when someone, right, when somebody just jumps from the boat, when somebody tries to jump from the boat, okay, nearby the ashore of the river or nearby the nearby the seashore, anywhere, right? If somebody jumps from the boat, what you understand, like if he or she tends to jump from the boat, in that case what happens, when he or she jumps from the boat, in that case we understand that the boat is pushed backward, right? With the feet of the persons or the leg of the persons, what you understand means, what we come to know, that the boat is pushed backward, then the body of the persons who is jumping goes forward. Means when the person wants to jump and wants to go forward, while going forward he exerts pressures, he or she exerts pressures, okay, equally but in opposite in direction, that is in backwards. The body goes frontwards, right, but the pressures or the force exerted by the body will be backwards, and that will be on the boat. In that case what you understand, the boat tends to go backward, but the persons who wants to like just jump from the boat goes frontwards, right? So this is what you understand, that is Newton's third law of motions. Okay, let's take the another topic. Okay, now we'll talk about forces of different types. The first one which we'll talk about, that is thrust, right? We'll talk about thrust. So it is at page number 34. What we are given here, thrust, the force applied on a surface in directions perpendicular or normal to the surface is called thrust. When a book rests on the table, its weight is a thrust on the table. Birds normally achieve thrust during flight by flapping their wings. Push is also a kind of thrust. If the lip of a door or window is pushed, action, that is by hand, the lip also exerts equal and opposite force on the hand as reactions, right? So here we'll talk about the thrust. What is called thrust? When a book is kept on the table, right? When a book is kept on the table, the book exerts some pressure on the table. That pressure is known as force. That pressure is known as thrust. Like if I'll keep the book on the table, what I understand, the book will exert some force on the table, and this force is known as thrust. This is perpendicular. The force which acts perpendicularly is known as thrust, right? So here another things like we are given here, when the bird flies, right? When bird flies, the bird flaps its wings, right? When it flaps its wings means this flapping of the wings takes place vertically, right? It takes place vertically, and the flapping of the wing acts as the thrust force. Okay, it is the part of thrust force because of which the body is able to fly, right? Then we got pull and tension. If you talk about the pull and tension, what you understand, like suppose if we have a string, right? If I have tied here something, this is a string, and this has been tied here, right? Now it is a kind of weight, say that it is 1 kg, right? 1 kg weight, it is 1 kg weight. Okay, so here it is a string, right? In this string 1 kg weight has been tied up, right? Now in here what will understand, this weight, okay, this weight will try to pull the string downward, right? This weight will try to pull the string downward, and this is known as pull, right? And the pressure that this string will face, okay, the pressure or the force that string will face because of the weight of 1 kg, right? That pressure or the force is known as tension. Now here who is facing the tension? The string is facing the tension. Okay, who is facing the tension? The string is facing the tension because of what? Because of the weight, okay, of 1 kg. This weight tries to pull the string downwards, but what happens, unless and until it breaks, okay, the string holds this 1 kg weight by facing the tension. So here what you understand, when this weight 1 kg weight is pulling the string, this is called as pull, right? And when you talk about the tension, the string is facing the tension because of the weight of 1 kg. Then we got here attraction and repulsion, right? Attraction and repulsion. When you talk about the attraction and repulsion, in case of magnet, what do we know, that we go in a magnet, right? In a magnet we have north pole and south pole. We have north pole and we have south pole, right? So here what you understand, like and unlike. Let's not write here. Like and unlike. Like and unlike. Okay, we have like and unlike. That is at page number page number 35. What we got here, that is attraction takes place in opposite directions between the earth and the body on or near it, between two like magnets poles or two unlike electric charges. Unlike means between two unlike magnet poles or unlike electric charges. Means what you understand, that is attraction. Okay, this attraction takes place between two unlike poles or charges. Okay, or charges. What takes place? Attraction takes place, right? And here in case of like poles, okay, or charges, what takes place? Repulsion takes place. Okay, what takes place? Repulsion. Okay, so here what you understand, when we have two like poles or charges, okay, two like poles or charges, for example, we will have north pole and north pole, or south pole and south pole, or something is negatively charged and another is also negatively charged. If something is positively charged and another also positively charged. So here what you understand, if same poles, that is like poles or like charges, okay, in that case repulsion will take place. And when we have got different, that is unlike poles or charges, then attraction takes place. It means what you understand, repulsion and attraction takes place. Repulsion takes place in like poles or charges, and repulsion takes place in like poles or charges. Another things, attraction takes place in unlike poles or charges, right? So this is the topic. Okay, let's take one more topic. Okay, then we got momentum. Okay, so from momentum we'll be talking about two things. Okay, linear momentum and conservation of momentum, right? So linear momentums, as per linear momentum, what you understand, linear momentum indicates a quantity of motion of a body which jointly pertains to both mass and velocity of the body. A body of very large mass but moving with small velocity may have appreciable momentum. So here what you understand regarding linear momentum. First, in case of momentum, okay, if you talk about the momentum, so here momentum, that is P equals to m into b, right? P equals to m into b. Here P is momentum, right? P is momentum, m is mass, and b is velocity. B is velocity, right? So here what we got, that is, when we talk about the momentum, linear momentum, so here it pertains mass and velocity of the body. That is, jointly we have the functions of mass and velocity in case of linear momentum. That is, the instantaneous force which a body possesses due to combined effect of mass and velocity is called linear momentum. Linear momentum means what? The instantaneous, okay, the instantaneous force which a body possesses, or the body, the forces, the body, the body which exerts force or gets force, okay, that is instantaneous force due to combined effect of mass and velocity. Due to the combination of mass and velocity, the force which is faced, okay, or exerted by the body is known as momentum. That is linear momentum. In case of linear momentum, what you understand, when a body possesses, right, some kind of the force or effect due to combined effect of mass and velocity, that is known as linear momentum. Then another we got, that is conservation of momentum, okay. Regarding conservation of momentum, what you understand, when a body, right, say that this is one body, okay, it is traveling here and one body is here, okay, this is in motion, right, this is in motion, and this is stationary, this is stationary, okay. Now when these objects while moving, okay, will hit this object, now this object will be in motion, right? So here what you will understand, the speed of the this motions, that is velocity of the this objects will be given here, and this object will gain the velocity of this object, right? And this will start moving and the velocity of this object will get stopped. So here what you understand, this body will gain the velocity of this object. It means momentum of this body will be transferred to the this body, means momentum of this body will be transferred in this body, right? So here it is transferred, but we need to talk about the conservations, right? We need to talk about the conservation is just quite similar, okay. That is what you understand regarding conservations. Law of conservation of momentum states that an absence of any external force, total momentum of a systems of interacting body is conserved. So here what you understand, that is law of conservation of momentum states that in absence of any external force, like here for this body, this is the external force which is acting on it, okay. This is at stationary, okay, and this is in motion. When it is in motion, while moving, it hits this body, right? When this body hits this one, right, this body gains the motion, but at present it is at stationary. But what is told here, it states in absence of any external force, total momentum of a system of interacting bodies is conserved. Now when there will be no any external force, okay, the momentum of a system of interacting body is conserved. This is accordance with the Newton's third law of motions, right? So these are the topics which were like which I taught you today, okay, and I hope you are able to understand. If there will be any doubt, okay, I'll be available you in your WhatsApp group, okay. During that time we'll be clarifying all the doubts. Thank you.